normally requires an orchid to get it for almost all heroes. So if you have that unpredictable silence that can pop out, it counters heroes that are currently in the meta, like Lifestealer, like DP, like other heroes that need to cast spells to stay alive.
Or mid lane puck. Usually you can't gank him with like a normal roaming support, but with Ricky you can actually do it.
Yeah.
Okay, we're into our second draft of the series. LGD leading 1-0.
Same bands. I think we talked about how good LGD is using the Invoker. So both games Fnatic have decided that we're not going to deal with that.
Do you find it odd that two of the lowest win rate supports, so Darkseer and the Phoenix, are both banned? That has to be specifics for them, doesn't it?
Yeah, because
LGD played a lot of Phoenix.
I think Darkseer is a very crucial hero for Fnatic in a way where, because they are so early game centric, he's one of the best offlaners that can pressure the safe lane.
Right.
So that's the main reason. And then when you pick Darkseer, you can always have all these dual melee heroes running at you, like Darkseer Tusk, Darkseer Earthquake, all these scary early game heroes.
Yeah. Definitely one of Fnatic's
same opening again.
Yeah. And they're gonna respond in the same way too, I guess.
Beastmaster as well, and then Lifestealer, I guess. GG.
Unless they wanna switch it up. No.
I know Black didn't like his build the last game, the Lifestealer. It's like, Radiance, is he trying to lose the game?
Yeah, why would you go Radiance? It's like, not good in that game. You want to fight with your team, and
I mean, you could understand why he went Radiance, because there was a Doom.
Yeah,
so he's in the
creeps,
he's in the Ancients, he's not gonna get Doom, so that's the idea.
But it's like, you do what, 50 damage per second instead of hitting for 300 a hit? It's like, okay, why not? It's gimmicky and flashy, but you don't need it.
And they gave the Aegis to the Lifestealer that fight too. It was like he was in the Ancients, but he had the Aegis.
It was good against Puck too, and if you ever need to split push against a Brood and you want a regular build, he won't be been able to stop it.
Yeah,
so
it's good for the Brood.
Are you surprised they've let them have this again?
Like I said, I felt like they needed to do more. Maybe they felt like with the same lineup, they could have done more if they adjusted certain things.
I would love to see the similar lineups again, like just the same actually.
Exactly the same
lineup. And then Fnatic does it better, and we just see like a 1-1, and then like, wow. Okay, we see 500 never mind.
That would be mind blown completely.
It would be so fun to see though.
So Fnatic is switching gears right now. They're going in for a very heavy team fight, and Tide is pretty decent against Lifestealer in the lane. You got Kraken and Anchor Smash.
Although later he's not that good.
Yeah, later he's not great.
Yeah.
Late. But early game, because Fnatic is always a team that focuses on 10 minutes.
Yeah.
First 10 minutes you have to do very well.
Right.
They ban out the Enchantress. Maybe they're still worried about Fnatic running very aggressive early game, because they know that the Doom didn't do so much, so they might actually switch things up.
Ban the Ricky again as well.
Yeah, Enchantress and Ricky probably the two best roamers at level 1 right now.
Yeah, together with Bounty Hunter probably.
They're all removed, and I think that I haven't seen them do a lot of Earth Spirit lately.
Well, if they switch positions again, I know 343 doesn't play a lot of Earth Spirit, but DJ definitely does, so maybe they go back to it. Might be possible.
The Lifestealer pick, by the way, makes it the most picked at the Major.
Dang. And the highest win rate, right?
Predictions.
Not the highest win rate, no.
Who is the highest?
For those played above 10, it's Slaughter, 67% of 15 games.
Slaughter. Yeah, Slaughter. MVP won a lot of games with Slaughter.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know.
Fnatic could continue the fish strat. It's good against Lifestealer.
It is.
Yeah. The DP is also 67% right now.
The fish strat.
I could
so Slug is the next fish.
I mean, I could see Mushi playing Slaughter mid. They could do it. Triple melee fish.
Yeah, but only if it's like a melee lane where you can actually slay.
Yeah, he would do that if he gets a very good 1v1 matchup.
Yeah, they used to do it a lot. If they see a favorable matchup, they just put it there. It doesn't matter, it's melee or range. Just good for the game. They're taking the time with the ban though.
Was it the same? No, the Enigma wasn't banned. Enigma wasn't banned in the second.
Wasn't, but Batrider was.
Yeah. Well, Batrider and Lifestealer is really scary together. Yeah. Especially because we saw them run the Jungle Beast last game. If you have a Jungle Beast and a Batrider offlane.
They could just go back for the offlane Beast this game. Anyways, they do run both jungle or support Beast.
I think they will this game.
Why do you think they will this game? Because they just want to switch up.
Yeah. Like.
You don't do the same thing twice in a row.
Like you don't want the opponents to just figure you out and play what is best against you. Like if they jungle again, maybe they got away with it the first time, which was really greedy already. If they do it again, maybe they will get punished really hard this time. Like, you shouldn't take your chances with Fnatic, I think.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because a year ago, there was a popular school of thought from some drafters that they just draft exactly the same lineup again. Come at us, bro. If you couldn't beat us the first game, we're just going to draft the same again. Pick a different lineup, see if you can beat us.
Why
And
fix-
there was a bit
why
of
fix it?
that going. Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? We'll just carry on. You've got to beat us. Come at us.
Right.
But then again, I remember PPD saying you don't want to do the same thing twice in a row because your opponent, if they're good enough, they're going to figure something
Absolutely.
out. So you don't want to do it twice in a row.
Witch Doctor does change things up.
You win one, you lose one, then you do it again.
Mind games.
Basically, the Witch Doctor here is one of the better supports against the Kraken Shell.
Never go back to Earth Spirit. Now the
so
DJ
they're
is there.
They're going back to the Earth Spirit because DJ is on the 4th position.
I like it.
So the Witch Doctor is basically mostly directed against the Tide because you can't dispel the Maledict. So it's a very good support against Tide.
Fnatic usually play it in conjunction with like an SF, with Quap, something that has a lot of burst damage from mid lane so they can kill easily.
DP, QP, two
Right.
of the strongest.
Yeah.
Easy to kill. But it also depends what LGD has in their mid lane.
Yeah.
It's very dangerous right now when you see the Earth Spirit because your mid laner, if you have someone that doesn't have any escape mechanism, if they go for something like a DK, you might struggle a lot in the lane.
Because Fnatic didn't give any information away at what their mid laner might be. So I actually think LGD will hold off the last pick for the mid lane.
I really like Fnatic's lineup right now. Their team fight's super strong in comparison to LGD's. They have good solutions against Witch Doctor. They can chain, initiate on Lifestealer, especially if they lead with like a silence or something like that. It could go really well for them.
They also have decent pickup with the Disruptor as well as Earth Spirit. But what they do lack right now, I feel, is burst damage. They have a lot of overtime damage, but they do not have good burst damage. So the Quap would be really good together with Earth Spirit as well, if they want to go that way.
Yep, LGD is here thinking whether they are going to pick... Oh, they went for Doom, so...
Really good against Tide.
Beastmaster will be off lane.
Yeah.
But I mean, they can do it both, right? If they think they can get away with a jungling Beastmaster, Doom can go off lane.
Yeah. But if you doom the Tide Hunter, then your team fight is secure pretty much. Because they don't have anything to save him either. And if you can't get a good Ravage off, then there's no way to fight.
We've seen this like matchup so many times, Tide versus Doom. Doom is always going to try to get his ultimate onto the Tide.
And Tide tries to like, run away, force stuff himself away, and then I blink over the Doom and Ravage the whole team, and I go, oh, okay, I'm cool.
There's going to be a lot of positioning game, Tide versus Doom.
Always like that, yeah.
Tide, Doom, Tide, Void. Like, I love all those matchups.
Yeah, me too. It's just like, you're jumbling for position.
Ooh.
Yep. They
Going back to the Medusa?
They go back for the Medusa.
It's a great lifestealer counter, since you can stun him through rage. So it gives them that ability to team fight.
And Medusa doesn't care about being doomed, as long as you activated Split Shot before. If not, that might be a bit problematic.
You probably heard the other one Medusa player in the audience cheered.
They were like,
Oh,
missing snake!
Black didn't like the item build of the Medusa. I remember when we were like looking at that game, he was like,
Was this a tilted black?
yeah, he was so tilted.
Okay.
Why would you go man?
Yeah, to be fair, now Lincoln's makes sense.
Oh, now it makes sense.
Manta doesn't.
Okay.
Lincoln's does.
Right.
If he goes Lincoln's, I'm completely fine this time, but just don't go
Good.
Manta. Don't go Manta.
Okay.
Don't do it. If you're listening, don't do it.
I'm sure he's gonna do it again.
Just to kill me, yes. Even if it cost him the game, I'm like, no, Black, you're not right. I can prove you wrong.
He's gonna buy Manta, split, and then the cask will just bounce in between his illusions and him, and he'll die. That'd be the best.
That would be so good.
So it's Mushi Medusa.
So the last pick will be for Midwan.
They need damage.
Yeah, they need another core definitely. 'cause
They really need damage.
Against Doom, you want to have multiple cores so that you have a few source of damage, so you don't worry about him dooming your key hero. You know?
I really like Dusa Disruptor. If you start a fight, Dusa ulties, LGD turns around, they have to start running, flips one back.
And you kill him.
Yeah.
Snipe him out. I really like it too.
I'm thinking what is Midwan gonna play here? That
They need burst damage.
Ember was like banned. Those are the heroes that he's his favorite heroes that he likes to play so much.
Slark was not that good.
You don't think it's that good? Oh, TB, your hero.
Ooh, I told you it was gonna get picked.
Okay. That is, I believe, the first Terrorblade we've had of the tournament, which mixed 89 different heroes. We've tied with TI5 for most heroes picked in.
Why do you
that
think they went for the TV here?
Okay.
Do you think it's good?
If he can avoid getting doomed and he is ever low HP, the lifestealer can never come into the fight. The thunder range is ridiculous. I think it's 500 right now, and if you just walk close to Terrorblade at all, he will thunder you and you will just die
And
immediately.
there's stone gates. You're not going to walk close to any of them.
Right.
Yeah. And he also got armor buffs recently too, so he's even better against
Now he
lifesteal.
has 10 armor level 1. So
That's pretty.
Oh, the battle of the greeds, you know, like both teams securing their late games.
Okay, we get an Alchemist on maybe for the last pick, so that makes sense, I guess. Very, very quickly, who's had a better draft?
This guy is going to go for Terrorblade.
for sure.
Of course, we already know, Black ignoring.
Well, I actually think that LGD with the Alchemist actually will have a much better lineup against Fnatic.
Okay, Kevin, very quickly.
I can't look at Fnatic's lineup and not just get excited about seeing it work. It may fall. So.
Okay, does the Terrorblade work? Let's find out as we head back to our commentators for Game 2.
Thanks, guys. Welcome back into game number 2 of the upper bracket with LGD and Fnatic. LGD 1 game away from a top 6 secure here at the Manila Major. Fnatic have just picked up a Terrorblade, our first in the tournament, guys. What do you think?
I don't know. I normally with Fnatic, it's like I know what I'm getting. This is a team I probably know better than any other team in the major, and I saw this Terrorblade. I'm just like, whoa, where did this come from? This is like a first with Fnatic. This is not something they run, especially not something you typically see run with a Medusa of all things. Medusa plus Terrorblade, I'm just like, whoa, where's the farm coming from?
Very interesting picks for sure. We will find out how it plays up as we jump into game number 2.
Alrighty, so the things I like about what Fnatic are doing is they've got Ohio back on a teamfight hero with Mushi and Mid One playing the kind of carries for the lineup, but they need the space creation. That's going to come out of DJ on Earth Spirit. The supports are going to have a lot of pressure on them to be very active this game.
We were talking about Ohio's pick last game, the Broodmother. It didn't work out. You're definitely right. I think a comfort hero for him, teamfight hero. We've seen him do work on Tide already in this tournament, so having him with the Ravage especially is going to be very important a little bit later into this game. LGD, their last pick, though, was an Alchemist. A bit greedy, but maybe he's going to be picking it up. What do you think about the last pick out for LGD on their side?
I mean, they probably just saw Terrorblade Medusa, like, okay, let's
just
they want to
farm.
go greedy. We can play the farm game. I mean, LGD, perhaps in some ways the kings of late game, going back to some of their past rosters, always a team happy to play the slow game, the long games, and that's exactly where Xiao is going to go back. He, more than any captain and player in this tournament, is probably happy to see 60, 70-minute games happen.
Yeah, he's played in that before many, many times, I think. And so for Fnatic, it's going to be, can they outlast LGD, or vice versa for that matter? You look at late game, though, for Fnatic, you have a Medusa, you have a Terrorblade. That is pretty damn good when you get there. The Alchemist obviously can excel very quickly, but he's one of the few cores that might be actually in trouble. Meanwhile, Rolling Boulder, MMY is going to get caught by DJ. Just a bit of a right-click exchange for now. They might go for this kill, but here comes the rotation from Sep, and DJ has it back out immediately. Witch Doctor had not skilled anything up just yet, and DJ, I think he wants to put some wards down, but he also is getting chased down by Sep. Good juke down to the low ground, still getting chased up. Styling, dancing on LGD right now.
Yeah, he just wants to stay disruptive in this jungle, keep tabs of where the Doom's going to be. Ideally, leech XP from this Hellbear, although I'm not even sure if that's
Is he in range?
Needs to stay close enough. Hellbear is going to get snagged, and no, he wasn't in range for the XP, so nice play by Sep to pull that camp away.
It is important for DJ to be aggressive, and you can see him already. It's just making the Doom feel a bit awkward about farming at that camp, so just try to slow down the Doom as much as possible, even if you don't leech the experience. We'll see how that goes for DJ. Meanwhile, Mushi should have a great early game. We saw yesterday where an Alchemist got completely zoned out on Wings' side, and the problem is that he still was able to excel very quickly later on down the road. So Alchemist, if he gets stacks, should be fine, but Mushi will be able to zone out maybe here early on in this game.
Yeah, Alchemist is a hero, kind of like the old SF where, yeah, he can lose his lane, he can fall behind, he can have 5 CS, 5 minutes in the game, and you're not even concerned because you've got stacks to fall back on. Even if you don't, you're just going to power farm. Alchemist is never really in a position where he can't catch up.
They have 2 heroes mid. The top lane, Ohio, is going to get Maledicted. Level 1 Maledict, no cast coming out, so they have no way of stopping him. Rolling Boulder mid, though. They're going to find the first blood, maybe. Last right click will fall. DJ might go down to the tower. Can he salve up in time? He smokes instead of just using his salve. They trade away 1 for 1. They get the first blood from Mushi, but they do give away a kill to maybe on the side of LGD.
And I kind of like the smoke attempt there. If you get out of the tower smoke pop range, you do survive that one, but he was just a split second too soon. to disjoint the attack. But he's already back mid lane, ready to roll in again.
Yeah, and then you TP'd in. There's the rolling boulder. Maybe he's going to get caught. Pushed back in towards tower range, but not enough. Split shot. Body block needs to be perfect from DJ. It's not. They can't quite catch up to him. They'll slow him down. Maybe he does have a salve too, so it's not a big deal for him there.
Yeah, very close. The angle just wasn't quite there, kicking him slightly sideways, not directly towards the tower. If he'd just gotten maybe 2 tower shots off with that kick, it would have been another kill.
Now Acid Spray is getting dropped down to Mushi's. It's going to be a bit more annoying for him. The rolling boulder again, though, they did just salve up Mushi. Split shot should be available. He's not using it, though, so just constant pressure. Meanwhile, Ohio top lane Maledic. One more right click, and MMY will get the kill with the level 1 Maledic. Now skilling up Cask at 2. Top lane or bottom lane, Xiao getting caught. They should not have glimpses, and the Thunderstrike damage is not there, even with Metamorphosis coming out.
Terrible
Mid one.
Oh,
he's going to wrap around. He's going to cancel this out, but he has to dive if he wants to get the kill. There's no way. He's not speedy enough, and Xiao will get out in time.
Yeah, so committing a Metamorph for that, but zoning out the Beastmaster, at least a decent outcome for the Metamorph. But it is still LGD running a jungle. They've got the Doom just farming away for now. He's picked up the Shockwave creep, so he's a happy camper. And with Fnatic giving up a kill in their offlane, this is going to push Ohio back into his jungle to start trying to get some farm there. Very likely we see him go into some kind of Iron Talon play just to get the most out of his jungle play.
The Dire Ancient stack constantly being stacked up by that Beastmaster. There are plenty of stacks already going their way. So that is something you'll have to look forward to if you're LGD. Fnatic don't know that it's there just yet. I think it's quadruple stacked for now. There's a lot of creeps there for LGD currently. Meanwhile, Mushi leading the CS at 23, Lifestealer at 21 doing fine, and actually 21 or 20 for the Terrorblade. So Fnatic again having a pretty good laning phase, but again there's an Alchemist on the other side for LGD, so he doesn't really care how much CS he gets in the early game, as long as he gets some stacks to work with, and he certainly has those later on down the road.
Yeah, unfortunately for Alchemist not finding the bounty rune with the 4-minute runes coming up, it's going to go the way of the Earth Spirit, so luck favoring Fnatic for now. But as you kind of highlighted, this is not a hero that you can really ever count out in terms of farm. He can be half this. Last game as well, we had Mushi doubling the CS. Well, that time it was aggressive on the mid lane, but not necessarily something that will just win you the game on its own. You've got to transition out of the laning stage and have a strong mid game. Take towers, find kills, have successful smoke rotation, something that Fnatic just couldn't do in their previous game.
We'll see if they have more success this game. They do have Ohio jungling up now, realizing that that top lane is too dangerous. He died once already, so he's just going to go to the jungle, use his Iron Talon, get to level 4, and go from there. And even LGD decide to put a ward down over towards the Ancients as well, so making sure they're not getting stacked up being used by Fnatic like Newbie used them last series.
In theory, this is going okay. Like, Fnatic's level 4 on Tide, they're getting a lot more out of their offlaner than what LGD is doing. Beastmaster kind of contesting the lane, but not really doing a massive amount. And this rotation from September and MMY may be known to Fnatic. They saw both heroes walk past the ward in the Dire jungle, so they should be wary that these heroes are heading down somewhere towards the bottom lane, and yeah, well, DJ is going to get a ward directly on top of them, so.
They did scout out DJ. They should know that's being warded up currently. That there was a ward over the Roche pit, so that should be counter-warded by LGD momentarily when they have a sentry up and ready to go.
And there's already one on the courier, so that ward may get instantly removed, and DJ's rotation toward the mid lane may get punished here if he's not careful.
Steph's gonna walk up, he has the ice armor on, they walk past each other, and he's just gonna rolling boulder out. He says, screw this, I do not want to be here, and DJ will get out in time. Not losing his life, but not getting a kill either.
Yeah, so there's the MMYD ward, helping protect that. Mid one's popped another Metamorphosis, this one just to pressure the tier 1 tower. Perhaps needs to be a little bit careful. Rotation in from lifesteal, but they don't get the cast.
Yeah, they're
just
no range.
out of range.
No range for the Witch Doctor. Mid one's going to be able to escape out in time.
Yeah, if they... Oh my god,
wow.
2 D wards instantly in a row, 3-4-3. I think Sloppy there kind of plants a ward right in front of LGD's face. Wasn't exactly doing that from Fog by any means, so...
Best bomb from Sep top lane. Ohio gets the anchor smash up, and now the rage coming from aggressive, going to work with the open wounds. Ohio should not be able to survive this. Pops the fairy fire, another anchor smash might actually keep him alive here. No TP's coming through. Will they dive this? They have the phase coming in. Ohio's getting dove onto the tower. Another anchor smash. The tower hits coming through. He eats a tree. Ohio's still alive. Gonna turn back around. Anchor smash up in one. They get the rage up in time. Aggressive. Tower hits. Will it bring him down? Yes! He gets the trade. It is a 1-for-1, and Sep is being chased down by creeps. But man, Ohio is pretty happy with that, all things considered.
And then come in to contest the Alchemist jungle farm. Bit of a fight over these last hits here. Looks like Mushi got a few of them earlier on, but maybe now with ultimate can kind of hold his ground in. fight Mushi for the last one. Higher just so tanky. The power of the Titan are really being shown there. And the important thing is that last Anchor Smash, he uses it after the Rage. So you don't get the Dispel on the Anchor Smash if you get it off after the Rage. So he was in Rage form, but he had reduced physical damage, and Higher surviving that one. That was a kind of uncharacteristic LGD dive, considering that any kind of TP would have really led to that aggression backfiring. I imagine the call was very much that, hey, no one's really in a position to TP in, you can go for that kind of a play, but...
Oh god, maybe is getting plenty of stacks here. The Ancients are going to go down. He's about to accelerate so damn quickly in farm. You can see it already. He's almost got his armlet. I think he might actually be coming out here pretty soon.
Oh, roll in mid, doesn't actually hit MMY.
While this is happening, Fnatic will pressure the mid lane, getting a little bit of tower damage. Terrorblade's still working on that bottom lane, but the creep wave's not pushing enough for them to go on the tower, and so this will take a while for maybe to clear up, but when it is done, he will have a lot of money.
Yeah, and the thing for LGD is they know how safe they are because they've de-warded both Fnatic's lane ward at bottom as well as that ward above the Roche pit. So Fnatic's vision is so limited right now. They can kind of try and guess where Alchemist is farming, but if you try and gank him and it fails, like you end up wasting time, you get set back tremendously. So they're better off just trading farm for farm. Alchemist will get more out of it than... Oh, bottom lane, Jiawei.
He's been caught. There's the kinetic field. They bring him down. They get off the reflection as well, but they're turning their attention towards the tower. They want that tier 1 more importantly. Rolling Boulder coming through. He's going to get the push back, but DJ is too far up. There's a couple of illusions chasing him down, trying to body block it, but he just walks right around. Maybe. I don't think he has a point in the unstable concoction. In fact, he gets off the silence onto 3. The kinetic field is there to help him secure his escape as well. And they just get the tower and back up. Nicely done.
Creating so much space this game. He's 0-1-1, but the important kill on mid, he's just getting great intel. The fact they've been de-warded as much as they have, but it feels like DJ is keeping tabs of all the heroes in their rotations early on. And he's just played tremendously well here in the early game on Earth Spirit. They take the tier 1 bottom tower, and all the rotations from LGD go bottom. Mushi's pressuring the tier 1 mid, so it's Fnatic, similar to last game, being the aggressors in the early game, and that's despite having this Medusa Terrorblade dual core lineup.
Remember though, when Aggressive came out of that mid lane earlier in that first game, he started doing some work. He has had free farm this entire game so far. Of course, the Alchemist with those stacks is now second in net worth, currently with his armlet up and ready to go, but Fnatic have the Ravage. If they want to go for a smoke and actually try to find something this time around, they might be successful in doing so, as the LGD is getting in a position to secure or at least try to defend this tier 1 tower. Might not actually be successful. TP's going to come through. It's from Aggressive, rolling bolt away from DJ. Mushi should have his ultimate. They're going to try to chase him down. There's the open wound. He's going to use that Stone Gaze, and that'll deter LGD going any further. Fnatic, they won't get that tier 1 tower. It should be in deny range, and it is. LGD should deny that, but still, Fnatic will secure the tower nonetheless.
Not denying it just yet. They may be just waiting and trying to bait Fnatic back in, as Lifestealer has kind of ventured off towards the top rune. Finds a DD, so dangerous rune to mess around with. And Fnatic just don't have numbers. But they force those TP rotations and a tower tonight. Oh, Mushi in trouble.
Cleaned up. He does have his mana shield on, but he's about to lose all of it. Aggressive going to work. That double damage is chewing through it. Meanwhile, though, MMY, Death Ward, Ravage comes through. Aggressive. He's got that infest with a Static Storm on top. They bring him down. 2 dead for LGD. Looks back on, maybe they're not done yet. Rolling Boulder around on the slow. He's going to pop the unstable concoction. Isn't going to be enough. Anchor Smash in a second for Ohio. Pops the armlet. They can't bring him down. He's too tanky. Still, Fnatic will turn 2 with mid 1 using his Metamorphosis. That's huge for them.
Great rotation from mid 1. TP's in immediately. Mushi unfortunately has to die for that fight to go as it does, but it's Fnatic who get Lifestealer and Witch Doctor. The Lifestealer who was starting to kind of rack up some momentum there, getting punished, and for LGD, they're going to be a little bit concerned about that sequence of events. So the good news is that maybe survives, gets out of there without dying, can go back to farm towards that Radiance of his.
Yeah, he'll start working on that item. He should be there pretty quickly. He is an alchemist after all. He's up to 1,500 gold. On the other side, the Tidehunter gets a little bit of an ancient stack for himself. He is taking a bit of damage from this. He's got the Anchor Smash coming out, 1,400 gold. We'll see if he goes towards that mech or blink dagger first. It's been a lot of blinks recently, as I talked to you about before the game on Tidehunter, and we'll see if Ohio is going to be picking that up.
He hasn't bought any mech components, so he's either still discussing it with his team or more likely perhaps just planning to make the big jump straight into the blink dagger. Radiant Scan checking out some of their own woods here. The Sentry Ward too late to scout out the LGD ward that was covering the Ancients, but...
Aggressive putting pressure on the top lane behind him. sitting the Doom, but he's a little bit too far away, and Aggressive's not going to push up any further.
Yeah, and there's that LGD ward, which I believe was very close to scanning out that smoke gank. Fnatic smoke near the vision of it, and we'll see how LGD respond to this one.
Sep might be the target. They'll drop down the ward. Should almost get vision.
These two heroes don't have the best kill potential. Ideally, they'd like to smoke towards a core hero, but
they're going to wrap in. There's the boulder smash. They get off the silence with 2.
That'll work.
The geomagnetic grip, the static storm. They get the kinetic fuel off as well, and he will follow the stick up, but it won't help him, and they get the kill. 2 supports rotate and get the job done.
Yeah, when you can find kills off of your 2 support rotations, they do have to commit ultimates, but that's realistically the only way a Disruptor Earth Spirit's dual support rotation works, is if you commit both Static Storm and Magnetize. So they don't mess around, they kill off the Doom, they get out of there, and Fnatic happy to play this more slow-paced farm style for now. They want to transition off of this pickoff, ideally into a tier 1 tower. Mushi's farming on the bottom side of the map, mid one's in a great spot to push towers with Dragon Lance.
Yeah, the Dragon Lance. This was the item build I think I was talking with Black about. We were discussing how squishy this hero is. Plenty of armor, but not enough HP, and Dragon Lance will secure you that. Although it only works when you're in that range form, I still think that this is a solid choice for mid one with the Metamorphosis up.
Yeah. Mushi's picked up a Yasha. I'm sure Black is sitting at the panel like, oh no, please don't upgrade to Mantis Style. Please don't upgrade to Mantis Style, guys.
He did that earlier in the tournament and was a bit questionable, I think.
it works, but I mean, there's a lot of different builds you can go for on Medusa. We've seen players just go Yasha to Skadi. The Yasha is just such a great farming item. You can transition into the Lincoln Sphere. But Mantis Style, always an option. There are some spells you can use it to kind of make it a lot harder to be Rawed or Doomed. If you see that hero running it, you can quickly pop a Manta, you can get out of the open wounds. But not exactly great against things like their cast. Speaking of LGD though, into the Roshan pit we go. They've snuck their way in, and
this is going pretty quickly.
Fnatic, unawares, perhaps just trying to trade towers, or perhaps just completely unawares. They are getting the tier 2 top, or a lot of damage onto it. They're also pressuring the tier 2 at mid while this is going on.
They have been spending a lot of time towards that top tower.
I think Fnatic expect LGD to be behind Zhao 8 at bottom. They see Zhao 8 solo pushing in tier 1 and they're like, okay, he's got 4 heroes behind him, but the truth is they were actually at Roshan. Fnatic will get the tier 2 off of this, but for LGD, this is the stage of the game where they don't want to fight. They want to ideally just keep on farming, work towards that Radiant, and having an Aegis on their side really helps give them some breathing room.
So despite Fnatic not knowing or not going for that Roche contention, they still get that tier 2 tower. The one thing that is a bit disconcerting for me for LGD is that Xiaowei is really not farming that well. He's sitting on a staff wizardry. He's going to get... You expect the offlane Beastmaster to have Necro 1 maybe by this point, maybe a bit earlier. For me, I feel like he's just not having the same impact you would see from most offlane Beastmasters in this game.
Yeah, he hasn't been involved in any kills whatsoever. He does get the tower, so he'll get 15-minute Necrobook is like a little bit on the late side, but this is where you'd ideally like to see Zhao 8 smoke up with his team, start finding some of those pickoffs, because it's been very quiet from LGD for the last few minutes. They've also got the Aegis on Lifestealer, so this is really an ideal time for them to try and fight while the Alchemist farms. You don't need to bring maybe just Smokers 4 heroes. You've got Death Ward up, you've got a lot of your kind of key ultimates ready to go, so fighting into Fnatic is definitely possible, but you look at what you're fighting into and you're like, oh, Ravage, Static Storm, that's scary enough in itself. Also, Lifestealer's damage output, not necessarily reliable because you've got Stone Gaze to actually disable him during that Rage form. So you can't just Rage your Lifesteal and have him run in and expect to get kills because of that Stone Gaze.
Yeah, and the Terrorblade also starting to pump out a lot of damage. We already talked about the Dragonlance, he gets a Yasha on top of that, so his damage output, even when he's just right-clicking without Metamorphosis, is pretty damn high. And then you have the Metamorphosis on top of that. He's already dishing out plenty of damage. So
this is a great move from Fnatic. Terrorblade's been spotted by a ward at bottom, so I think LGD, I expect that they think they're safe just pushing this top lane. Luckily, they catch just MMY's Lion. If they'd actually gone for the wraparound at top, they may have found heroes like Doom as well as Lifestealer.
He dies instantly. Now they're going to TP to defend this. Aggressive's going to have to back up. They really wanted that tower, and Mushi's just like, I'll take this farm. Rage TP to mid, and they're encroaching upon him. He actually might get caught out. No more Rage available. They can blink Ravages if they want to, but he does have that Aegis. They're going to glimpse back. They have Static Storm available. They won't commit it. They get the geomagnetic grip off, and Aggressive. Armlet toggle, they get the Aegis. They can commit everything to this if they want to. Static Storm should be placed right on top of it. Blink Ravage perfectly timed. Onto 2. Aggressive will fall first. That might get caught next to Boulder Smash on top. They're trying to chew him down. They won't be able to get the kill through. That, of course, usage of the Scorcher. DJ getting caught by maybe using the unstable concoction, but still, it is favorable for Fnatic in any way, shape, and form.
So good But that is the Fnatic that you kind of expect to see. The synergy between them using these spells. They see Lifestealer Rage TP in mid. They catch him with the glimpse. They don't overcommit. They save the Static Storm for the respawn. And the Static Storm Ravage onto 2. That was just brutal. What a great team fight coming out from Fnatic. LGD were not ready for that one whatsoever. They've still got a very farmed Alchemist. It's not like a complete disaster in terms of the big picture of this game, but it's exactly the kind of momentum Fnatic needed at this point.
And Sepp is lucky to keep his life in that engagement. They could have dove a little bit further, but Fnatic disengaged perfectly, and they only lose DJ. Sepp was one right click away, or just not having Scorched Earth from dying, and he luckily gets out in time. And he's picked up a Midas. They've decided to go even further into the late game now, gods.
Yeah, they want to farm. I mean, you've got the Alchemist. They're going to be very reliant on the classic LGD high ground defense, but not exactly the best lineup for high ground defending with. Acid Spray is really the main tool that they have, so if Fnatic get enough key items so they can secure themselves like the second Roshan, for example, they're going to be very strong at breaking high ground using Terrorblade with the teamfight threat of Ravage plus Static Storm and a Terrorblade to push and break buildings. It's actually going to be really difficult for LGD to defend their high ground this game.
Mushi went Manta first again, by the way.
I trust Muji. He's played this hero enough that I expect that this is a build that actually works. I mean, at the same time, Black also a mythical character player, but I mean, Mushi has been playing and doing this build throughout this tournament, and you want to stick with what you're comfortable with. He knows kind of how tanky he is with this Manta build, likely into a Linken's or a Skadi. If you try like a new build that's squishier, maybe he actually gets picked off or caught because he's just not used to playing around a different item build. So for Fnatic, it's playing to their comfort zone.
We should point out that he won with this particular item choice earlier on in the tournament. Meanwhile, this ancient Black Dragon needs to be careful. It is tanky, but Mushi does a lot of right clicks, so he'll back up and away and get towards that tier 2 tower.
It's a good pickup. He doesn't commit to the Radiance, at least not for now. He's going to go what looks like a Deso Armlet build, but you can still use this Ancient Creep to defend without exposing yourself to like the Static Storm, the Glimpse less so because you've got Rage, but most importantly the Static Storm initiation.
Smoke of Deceit gang through the river from LGD looking for a target. He does, and he's got his Blink Dagger up in a couple. They haven't been scouted out yet. The Hawk will come through. Shawade is up there with Sepp looking for a Doom target. Now it looks like the Tide is going to TP out. Static Storm is going to cancel it. They're looking for an initiation. 343 is just going to try to TP away as they've already lost Ohio. They will only lose the support though out of that Smoke of Deceit gang as everyone else from Fnatic has TP'd away. Mushi is split pushing mid while this is all happening, and Aggressive is going to have to respond to that aggression.
Yeah, it looked like a fight Fnatic could even try and take off the Ravage, but once Mushi had TP'd mid, LGD knew, okay, Mushi's mid, let's try and initiate here. They've got no Medusa. Terrorblade's not really in the right position to fight as well, but it's just Disruptor, so LGD don't really get much out of it. They can't turn that kickoff into a Roshan, into a tier 1 tower. They will pressure this tier 2 at bottom, but very likely this is something Fnatic will be more than ready to defend.
All things considered, this is still an extraordinarily close game. 1,000 net worth advantage currently from Fnatic, and I think experience-wise, it's roughly the same. So LGD, despite maybe not having the best...
swung into LGD's favor now in terms of overall net worth. The Alchemist factor is really starting to kick in, and you leave an Alchemist alone, suddenly he's 5,000 net worth ahead of Terrorblade and Medusa. Not as far as Aghanim Scepters to pull this game, there's a few pretty good ones. I mean, you look at Witch Doctor Deathward, obviously amazing, but the Witch Doctor has to stay alive to be able to get it off, which is hard to do against some of these heroes. Doomags, not bad. Beastmaster, not exactly the best as well.
It's not one of those games where you stop your item progression, you know, before you get 6 slotted to get an Aghanim Scepter. Maybe for the Witch Doctor like you were talking about, but I don't think you stop your item progression as he's continuing on with that ultimate orb. Shawade has been scouted, but the roar will come out into Mushi. Sepp and Aggressive are behind. They get the Static Storm, but it's just so many Static Storm and 343. It's instant Blink. Ravage comes out, but Aggressive gets off the rage time. Boulder Smash magnetizes up as well. Mushi will come through. Sepp will get right click. So far it's a 1-for-nothing exchange. Might be 1-for-1, and it will. MMY now getting caught. He's got 10 more. Doom is up on Mushi, right clicking him down. Boulder Smash comes through, and here's the Metamorphosis. And mid one is going to work. Aggressive gets the arm of the toggle, and he gets inside maybe in time with the Infest. They're looking for Shawade. They're looking for maybe as well. They'll chase him down. Rolling Boulder in. DJ's nothing yet. Push back coming up from DJ. And maybe he's in trouble. No more chemical race, but they have no catch potential. The sounds come through. They get the gush up in time. Last right click, he'll fall. And now Aggressive's on the run as well. He'll phase his way up to the high ground. It looks like he might make it out, but it's just him for now with the help of Sepp as well.
Terrorblade is proving to be such a good carry pick against these melee cores. You're a melee carry trying to run into a Terrorblade. By the time you break the gap between his range and your melee attack, you're already down to half HP in the case of Aggressive Lifesteal. And something that Lifesteal struggles against is physical damage. He's got very low base armor. He just melted to the Metamorph illusions, just right-clicking away on him, and LGD do not have good AoE wave clear for these Terrorblade illusions. There's nothing to actually deal with Terrorblade in these fights.
And that was with a missed Static Storm. They got the Ravage, but Aggressive actually avoided it with the Rage. So all things considered, LGD, that wasn't a bad engagement. Sure, they had to start out with a Aurora from Xiaoyi just to keep himself alive, but LGD not looking super great in that last fight.
Yeah, they need to keep dragging this game out. They need to transition to items that are going to give Aggressive some sustain, like the Assault Crest to give him some more armor. They're going to need gap closing items to help deal with the Terrorblade, so Blink Daggers on be it Beastmaster or Doom, and even potentially the Lifestealer. Yeah, he can Infest Bomb, but I think he may just need a Blink Dagger of his own to break the gap between him and Terrorblade. If you can get the Doom off on Terrorblade, perhaps you can stop that Sunder Metamorph illusion just massacre from happening, but this Lifestealer is really struggling to teamfight.
They are certainly missing some mobility for LGD's heroes currently, and they're taking advantage of it for Fnatic. So you have two very strong cores. Sure, they're not up to the net worth that the Alchemist is, but whoever is when you have a farmed Alchemist. And he does pick up a Manta Style, he has his Radiance, so Alch's getting there.
I think if you look at like the two cores versus two cores, it's Alch Lifestealer versus Medusa Terrorblade. Medusa Terrorblade are farming way better because of how poor the Lifestealer is. He's 8.5k net worth. Pretty much the two carries are kind of even on net worth, and you've got to always take a bit off the Alchemist because he just doesn't really fight to his true net worth.
Aggressive's Ancient Black Dragon getting pushed back. He needs to be careful. He was kind of up on the opposing high ground. I think he's a little too aggressive there in that situation. Roche, by the way, respawning in 30 seconds. This might be prime real estate. Fnatic have all of their ults back up. Ravages ready to go. Stone Gaze, Static Storm, everything is ready, Tots.
Yeah, they've just completed a mech on the Earth Spirit. They've also got great kiting tools now with a 4-star complete on the Hio, so having at least one 4-star always great against the Lifesteal, as if getting kills wasn't hard enough for him because of like the illusions having to break the gap. It now gets even more difficult. Luckily for LGD, this smoke happens right underneath an LGD ward, so they know exactly what Fnatic are doing, smoking into them, but I don't think LGD can actually take advantage of this to initiate this fight. More than anything, they're just going to try and dodge it.
And 3-4-3, they're going to get some wards down too, and they actually see Xiaoyi. Are they going to die behind the tower? Blink Force, Ravage in, onto 2, Static Storm will fall up, Xiaoyi and MNY will fall instantly.
Okay, you see the smoke, you get wiped anyways. That is incredible to think that you just saw a smoke happen and you're
under your tier 2 tower. You're under your tier 2 tower. You're as safe as you think you can be, but Fnatic have done this before. Dive the tier 2, force to slide him with the Blink Ravage, and now Aggressive is getting destroyed by the Terrorblade. He has to invest in his Sep, infest down. Sep is in trouble as well with the right click. Mushi's lost his mana, but he doesn't care. Mid-one's been doomed up. He also doesn't care. They're going to work. Aggressive about to fall. Last right click. The silence. Rolling boulder from DJ, and it's good. They're going to go to work on the tier 3. They're forced to buy back on the Lifestealer. He'll TP it. It's time to lead for Fnatic, but they've already got plenty if they can save mid-one. Oh, the Thunder comes out, and that will go to work on maybe as well. It pushes them back in. LGD, they lose just about everything. Their cast will come through. They're trying to get something out of this. Maybe it just is 3-4-3, but at least it is something. And it looks like 3-4-3 will fall in the end with DJ also going down, but Fnatic have taken a beautiful engagement, gods.
That was just an incredibly impressive jump coming out. It's in the high. This is why you put this guy on Tide, Darkseer, big teamfight playmakers, the faceless voids of Dota 2. You don't want to put this guy on Brood. It's as good of a pick it may have been last game. It just doesn't suit the Fnatic playstyle, but you put him on a Tide, he gets that big catch, they get the follow-up. LGD will get a Roshan out of it, so by no means game over just yet. You've got a high ground defense successful from LGD. You're going to have an Aegis, most likely on the life. I say Lifesteal, he's actually incredibly poor, so I'm not sure how much value you get out of the Aegis, and they may just, yeah, they're going to get the baby. I think recognizing that this Lifestealer is just not doing anything, they're going to say, look, Alchemist, you take this. You're the one who can actually carry this game right now.
Mushi and DJ were looking for a catch. They actually were rotating over there as Roche was happening, but LGD take it so quickly that Fnatic can't contest him without Ravage as well. Would have been a bit dangerous, which is up in 32 seconds, by the way. So with that up, Fnatic probably go for another engagement. I think they keep the pressure on. They will have to fight into an Octarine core now for the Alchemist, so the split push will be real with bots up on top of that in the Manta style.
And they can still deal with him, okay. Not the best Aegis here. If you respawn without Chemical Rage, it's like, well, you're not exactly in the best fighting shape. But as you said, they've got to have the Ravager. Higher getting close to it though, 10 seconds away. Will likely be getting ready to defend this mid lane.
He's going to just farm top lane. He's got his Perseverance, one down, just one to go for that Refresh Orb, and then the double Ravage from Ohio is going to be absurd.
Tower has fallen.
But LGD, they want to put the pressure on. They need to get some gold back. The open wounds will come through, and they have to use the Stone Gate. Maybe looking for 3-4-3, and he will fall. He actually gets the stick charge up, and he gets the static storm, and maybe has actually been caught. They're going to work with the right click. He gets to stay alive. No chemical rage, though. Ravage coming through. Doesn't hit. He missed it. He whipped it. Now they might have to back up for Fnatic. Now with that down, LGD have some time to work with. They get the Aegis at the very least at the end there. But that is all they've secured with a whipped Ravage coming out from Ohio.
Yeah, he must have just not realized that he walked into the acid spray there. I assume LGD saw it. It was kind of in the fog. Looks like they're going to keep on pushing, so they must be aware.
Chemical Rage up now, tough to deal with unstable concoction. Lincoln Spear will block it. They still have aggressive as well. Remember, there is no Aegis, so maybe with that Chemical Rage down, might just back away. They still have Metamorphosis. They're going to go in, and maybe we'll back up for the time
Very
being.
annoying to push into the reflection spam coming out. 16-second cooldown on that. Ohio's just blinking himself in to throw Anchor Smashes out. So not easy to push by any means.
There still is a net worth advantage. Aggressive was getting caught by Ohio, but he'll make it out. There's still 1,000 net worth advantage for LGD. A lot of that coming from the Alchemist, but
Not sure how much you can call that even an advantage at this point. It's such a small amount.
they have not lost a set of racks though for LGD. That bottom, yes, they had to buy it back on, I think, aggressively, but all things considered, it could be a lot worse for LGD right now.
I like the Doom's play this game. He's gone just for all this armor items. He's got the Vlads. He's also held onto the ice armor, which has helped out the Lifestealer as well as the Alchemist, just make them a lot tankier and hard to kill. That Alch who was being focused had the ice armor on him. Meant that Fnatic just have to commit a bit more. Also helps solve some of the Lifestealer's weaknesses, which is that low base armor of his.
Mid one has picked up a Scotty, by the way, so extra HP if he needs it, which I don't think he really does. And
Come LGD smoked up. They want to fight while Ravage is down.
they might find Mushi. Depends on which way they direct the smoke. It looks like they're going down towards the river. Mushi is going to get caught, and they're going to use the Doom on him. It was the Lincoln Spear that breaks it, but he is still going to get blown up. LGD find a huge target. They get him down for 62 seconds. He does have buyback, and there's a tier 2 tower, so I'm not sure he'll have to use it here.
They're going to split push. They can force the rotations back through their split push. It is an Alchemist though, so that Octarine Boots of Travel is a 30-second
They
cooldown.
get the tier 3 tower on top of that as well.
Yeah. Illusions, you can just send those on the range tracks at bottom as well, so very likely we'll see LGD just continually pressure bottom lane, but as mentioned, Octarine Boots of Travel, very short cooldown. 15 seconds from now, Alch can TP back in, so LGD are going to linger around this mid lane for a little bit longer, at least hoping to find a pick-off. I think they realize they're unlikely to be able to break high ground unless they somehow win a massive fight, but lingering in this area while Medusa is dead could find them some kind of a kill.
And there's that blink dagger you message for aggressive earlier in the game. That's important for gap closing, like you talked about. That's something they need to be able to blow up some of these heroes, especially the support heroes, especially the Terrorblade with the Dragonlance. He has plenty of range. He's picked up a Chrysalis, by the way, which is very interesting.
I think he's at the stage where he just needs single target damage. You look at being able to burst down someone like Alchemist, it's going to come from having more damage, and the best item for a Terrorblade to do that at this stage is the crit. Your illusions get the crit as well. Butterfly is like not bad as far as actually giving agi stats to your illusions. Your illusions don't get the plus damage to this item, but the single target damage from the Metamorph TB is going to be very, very scary.
Scan will come out Radiant, just making sure that there's nobody in the vicinity, so they feel confident to push out back into their jungle, take control of it again. LGD split up and they just start farming. They just say, okay, you farm top, you farm bottom, that's where we're going to go from here.
Yeah. Something worthy of note as this game drags out, like all the item pickups LGD can get, they also help Fnatic because you've got Reflection. This is like a mini Darkseer wall when you cast this spell. If you're catching out core heroes like Alchemist, if you're catching a Beastmaster or a Doom, you're stealing those auras, even just for that short little duration, for that 5.5 seconds, this can make a big difference in a team fight. You're stealing a Shiver's aura from an Alchemist, you're getting the Radiance damage and the mischance from his illusion as well, so Reflection is an amazingly good scaling spell into the late game.
And they now are going to put pressure here towards this bottom lane. There's no range or no creeps here down towards this bottom lane of racks, but instead they'll just sit around mid. Maybe he's been scouted actually. He doesn't know if they've illusion. His Brett's going to blink in. Now he's going to get caught. There's the Stone Gate. Reflection comes out. Now I think if you're LGD, you have to back. There's still that Ravage and Blink available. The Glimpse back through coming in maybe. Still with the Chemical Rage. The kinetic field doesn't quite hit. And maybe we'll be able to get out in time. And it looks like the rest of the team from Fnatic don't want to fight this. They'll actually TP out with Ohio towards the top. Keep that lane pushed up, and LGD will avoid a bad fight.
I think he best dodged that glimpse with the Rage on cooldown. I didn't see exactly who the glimpse target was, but yeah, he was infest inside of Boris, so it looks like a nice little bit of play there from aggressive, and instantly LGD, they decide they want to fight. Stone Gaze is down. There is a Ravage, but just missing one of these ultimates could be a big difference in how a fight could go down. LGD have everything at their disposal.
They're running right down mid right now. And Mushi will be first contact again. No stone gates as you talked about. DJ's there to help him out because a nice silence on the Showing. So no Roar coming through. They have the GB coming in for Maybe. Rage is down. There's the Unstable Concoction. Mantis Style coming through. Maybe we'll throw it at the end there. They have Ravage ready to go. And Ohio's looking for that perfect initiation. Maybe he's been pinged out. They really want to go on it, but they can't find the initiation. He's so fast with Mantis Style on the bots as well. And they are going to back again. They don't find a kill, but they don't get anything done in the process. Meanwhile, down bottom, they're going to look for DC or 3-4-3, but he gets the kinetic field off, and Aggressive doesn't want to go any further. They TP into that tier 2 tower. There's the looks up the static storm on top. The Guts will come through. He's going to pop the arm, and he'll be able to get away. On the other side, Sep walks in. Zoom up into Ohio. Nicely done. Now maybe walks up, gets down, and he's actually using the Unstable Concoction. We're on to DJ. He's in trouble. Aggressive will jump in, and Mushi's on his own right now. Mid one stunned up. Can Mushi get out alive? Losing all that mana. The mana shield not helping him. They're getting corralled back into the base. The Glimpse on the Maybe. They don't want him going any further. They'll get 3 kills. Fnatic about to lose more. Mid one getting dove by Aggressive into the tier 3 tower. He will survive. They have buybacks both on, or actually just on the one of Mushi, and LGD with a great engagement, dooming up the tide there.
Somehow, without a Blink Dagger, September finds Ohio's Tide Hunter. That's something that just should not be allowed to happen if you're on the Fnatic side, and gets LGD a big boost here. They're going to force out what looks to be the Medusa's buyback here.
They can blink Ravage. Yeah, Spray will zone him out. He does have it ready to go. They have the Glyph. He jumps in, doesn't commit the Ravage, though. Ohio's actually going to get forced back. Now there's the Shiva's Guard. They're really pushing him in. The tier 3 might fall. LGD do force out the buyback, though, for Mushi. The most important thing, they finally get a modicum of room for LGD in this game.
This Alchemist is just getting out of hand. He is 6-slot at this point, but the good news for the LGD side, well, if you're someone on his team, is that means you're going to about to start receiving Aghanim Scepters once that Alch gets maxed out. Could upgrade with the Moonshard or as well as the level 2 upgraded boots to travel, but realistically, this is where you want to be giving. Doom and Axe Scepter when you're bursting a Tide is amazing because it means he's just going to remain doomed that entire time. The Witch Doctor also a great hero to have an Aghanim Scepter on at this stage of the game as well, so we'll see where he heads as far as pulling that Axe Scepter. But Fnatic have to start being a little bit concerned. Their teamfight execution needs to be on point, and they slipped up for a little bit there, and boy did LGD capitalize.
I mean, it comes down to, I think, the Tide getting his initiation off. It comes down to Ohio in a lot of these instances. He has a refresher orb now, but it won't matter if he's doomed up. If he can get off the double Ravage, I'm sure the team fight is won by Fnatic. I'm sure of it. But the problem is, it's tough now. There's so much space that's being made by, I think, the maybe Alchemist in these fights that he can't quite get in. There's the acid spray on the ground, and he has to be careful with the Doom's positioning as well. It's tough.
And they're so wary of the Tide being the big threat. They're always sending the Manta illusions of the Alchemist towards the Tide, preventing that blink from coming off. They're targeting the acid spray such that it's likely to stop the Tide's initiation.
They smoked up under a ward as it looks like LGD are backing together as 5. Not going to get caught, and Roche is not going to respawn early enough either to take advantage of this for Fnatic. It's down for another minute and 30 seconds, and LGD will stay in their base.
They get the scan. They saw LGD on their high ground there with the scan, and for Fnatic the big thing is they want to get wards down because they didn't know when and if Roshan is up. If Roche is up there and LGD are doing it, they're going to potentially lose the game to an Aegis pickup. So they make sure they cover their bases by smoking on out, but it was their last smoke for some time, which is perhaps a bit of a worry because Tide in the backline may need a smoke if he wants to be getting off those good Ravages.
Butterfly now picked up for Maybe as he continues to be even tankier and tougher to kill. Against physical damage with Mushi as well as Terrorblade, that is a great item.
Yeah, and he's already seen the Crystallis on Terrorblade, so he knows that transitioning into an MKB, not exactly a smooth or easy transition. He could drop the TP scroll and just stick to a Crystallis and start working on that MKB. And similarly, he's also seen the Talisman, so he waits to buy this until he's seen Mushi as well as Mid1 commit to items that aren't MKB. They can transition out of these items, but Mushi's already most of the way towards Butterfly. Terrorblade's already committed to this Crystallis, does have 3k gold, which he can instead buy a Demon Edge and go MKB with, but it just really hinders their item progression because of this.
Doom picks up a BKB for himself, so now he can walk in. Doesn't have to worry about the static storm. As long as he can get that Doom off onto Ohio, he's in a good position. Or really just any of these big cores for Fnatic. You'd like to have it on Ohio, but...
Yeah, well, the nice thing is, like, if you just run it Ohio with BKB Scorched Earth, he can't really blink out of there. He can try and use his Force Staff to get away from the Doom, but there's so much to cancel his Blink Dagger this game that's very difficult to rely on this Blink Ravage.
This is going to be one of the tensest points of the game for both of these teams, as Roshan has now respawned. And maybe Sheep his guards up, and he's just making so much space with the illusions, the Octarine Core, the Manta Sal being a real nuisance for Fnatic.
And LGD are going to lose Fnatic going to lose their vision above the Roshan pit. They're so blind right now. They're playing against Beastmaster, Hawk, and Boar. They're playing against Manta illusions coming out from the Alchemist. They've got some Manta illusions of their own on Mushi, but he also wants to hold on to that Manta cooldown for the fight. We've seen a few times the Manta used very effectively when LGD jump him. He quickly pops the Manta to stop the Roar, the Doom, the single target focus fire spells coming out onto him. So definitely an item that has paid off this game, but...
Rush, maybe? Okay, they're not going to go further. They thought about... They glimpse back, they get off the kinetic field. Now the right click, he gets down step. Force, they get the Ravage, but maybe it's very tanky. Will he fall? The Acid Spray doing some work. The Chemical Ray healing him back up. And now mid one has the Thunder on aggressive. He'll fall! He goes too hard. They get off the Static Storm on 2 as well. Shallow will get blown up. And mid one is going in ham. They get a triple kill for him. They get the double Ravage off. And Fnatic will take 4.
What a team fight. Ahayo throws the first Ravage isn't great, but he knows with that refresh it doesn't have to be great. And as soon as he throws the first Ravage, he repositions such that Doom can't find him. So he prevents the Doom taking him out of the picture, and it's a terrible Doom coming out from September. That's like the worst case scenario. You Doom a Terrorblade who's already used
what a
Hunter.
dodge from Mushi. Avoids the Unsimple Concoction. Mid one's still in trouble though, needs to back up and be careful. Maybe with the Chemical Rage, really tough to bring him down. But there's another Thunder coming through. They're gonna slow him up. The Scotty comes out. They get off the stun as well. The Polar Expense. This silence, can they shoot through him? Do they have enough right click? They don't have the Metamorphosis. The Anchor's back to the Clips back, and they'll get the job done. Aggressive trying to save his life, can't get there. With the kinetic field coming out, he's stuck in. He's dead for 77. Fnatic will take it. They'll take the fight. They'll take the road. They have to buy back on the out. They do not want to get to this Aegis, but I don't think they can get there in time, gods.
Reflection is just doing so much damage in these fights. Alchemist is going for the split push though. He's peeking into the Fnatic base.
Meanwhile, Death Ward top for MMY. It's just a bit of a nuisance right now for LGD. Mushi TP's right in front of everyone. Meanwhile, the tier 3 tower was taken down by Maybe. Mid 1 will get roared up. The split push is still happening. Maybe's rotated in, and actually, Mid 1 is in a lot of trouble. He's got the Thunder, glimpsed back. They're trying to avoid it. Force forward. Xiaowei actually avoids the Thunder coming through, and Mid 1 will be able to back now in time. Those are illusions, and he's going to use it. He's going to get back up to full health. Ohio is back, ready to go. Still no Ravage, though. He's already used it in that last engagement. And that's it. They get the tier 3 tower mid, but still a lot committed to LGD for that fight.
They used buybacks and everything. It looked like they may catch a pickup or two. Fnatic were very split apart and kind of caught out there, but they managed to each individually get away. Mid 1 doesn't lose the Aegis, gets the Sunder of DJ to the south, managed to escape. So Fnatic, they regroup, they pick up some more big items, and suddenly things looking a whole lot better for them. DD rune, okay,
This
they're
might be
ready to
go time.
push. Yeah, Aegis, Terrorblade with DD, now we're talking, say Fnatic.
They won't have double Ravage, but they will have one if they want to push with this.
Yep.
That's the biggest thing. And they will probably push into mid with that tier 3 tower down. You want to get an advantage in that lane. Although they could go for bottom where there's no tier 3 for LGD.
The fight may last long enough that very likely Ohio does get a double Ravage off. You're looking at 50 seconds, so by the time they reach high ground, maybe it's 20 seconds from now. So if this drags and Ohio just manages to initiate, then disengage, we could see 2 Ravages in a long drawn-out fight.
Illusions will start going to work on the tier 3 tower. They have that double damage rune for mid 1. You have Ohio nearby. There's a wraparound from the Xiaowei Beastmaster. He's on the high ground here. He's looking for a rotation with the Blink and Roar.
I can just see using this Dragonlance Terrorblade with the DD. It will wear off now. Whisper's already been forced, and these illusions, again, LGD do not have the best way to clear. They are flanking with Beastmaster, though. Xiaowei ready to get a Roar on one of the backliners. Or just Mana Burn Ohio.
Maybe taking some hits from both Mushi and mid 1. The Metamorphosis is still up. They get the scan off. The action of that Xiaowei is there. The axes will come through. Fnatic Thunder's up onto Maybe. He's at half health now. He needs to be careful. They'll start going to work on the range reactions coming out. Aggressive goes in and kills 343, but now look at the damage. And the Stone Gate's coming out, and he's going to get caught. They pop the Magnetize. He's about to invest. Can't get it off. The Ravage comes in. It's on to 3. Separate trouble. Everyone. Hit double Ravage. Sip has to be gaming, but Maybe getting zoned out of town. Rolling forward up. Will they go for the right? Will they go for the kill? Doesn't matter. DJ pushes it back with the kick. Maybe he gets off the Chemical Rage, keeping him alive, and DJ doing the best to body block him. He's low, but he keeps healing on up with the Octarine and the Chemical Rage. He pops the Manta. How far will they go for this kill? It doesn't matter. Already 4 are dead for LGD. Fnatic just gets abilities, for God's sake.
Yeah, like, forget the Alchemist, he's too tanky, but these buildings, they're easy to kill. They don't cause any problems. Alchemist could TP bottom and go for some split push here. But no, he's going to try and defend.
He's going back home to heal for now, and it looks like Fnatic will take 2 sets of racks. They can go for the third and the final set of racks in that top lane. It looks like they're beelining it up there for now. They have all of the buybacks they need. No double Ravage. Already used Mushi, of course. Unstable Concoction will not break through that linkage tree. He TV's right in front of Maybe's face, and they are completely, utterly happy with that engagement, guys.
Very just safe, calculated play from Fnatic. They get 4 racks. They know their lineup in the late game. You're talking about Medusa, Terrorblade, late game carries with a Tide. Tide is one of those heroes, like 50+ minutes in the game. This guy just gets scarier and scarier. BKBs get shorter. We're talking about double Ravage, Anchor Smash going through BKBs as well. You're negating a lot of the physical damage output of a Lifestealer, of an Alchemist. Fnatic's draft is just going to keep getting better and better, and well, there we go. You think your Alchemist is tanky before? Yeah, he sure as hell was. Well, these MKBs on both carries are going to help negate that.
And on top of that, they'll have buyback pretty soon as well. They'll only have to farm up a bit more for them to get there. The Terrorblade already has his 700 for Mushi, and if you really want to be safe, you just wait for those buybacks and then you fight with double Ravage again.
Well, there's a first act of the game will go the way of MMY's Witch Doctor. We'll see what Mamaya can do.
He has not had the biggest impact in this game. He needs something to help him out.
Yeah, it's been a tough game. It's kind of not always to be expected. Your 5-position Witch Doctor to be able to get off those big death wards, but if he's receiving that accept and not someone like the Doom, you're hoping that he can make a big play off of this.
For now, LGD have their hopes pinned on this Alchemist, and I mean, he's as big as he can get right now, and it might not be enough in this game, especially with 2 sets of racks down.
And looking at where it is, every lane is pushed out, so there's no split push threat. This is just going to have to come down to a straight up LGD high ground hold when they've got no buybacks to play around with. Just the Doom, who has a buyback on their side. Terrorblade has his Medusa. By the time you reach high ground, 500 gold short now. Mushi is the one pushing, so he's getting kind of all the farm. Very likely Fnatic will at least play around Mushi not going down since he doesn't have buyback.
They need to be careful with him. I think they just farm up here. They keep the wave pushed in, like you're talking about.
He's 1 creep wave away. Looks like, 300 gold away. So 1 creep wave maybe takes a neutral camp and he can be there. I mean, you don't want to give LGD time to breathe here. You've got double Ravage in 20 seconds. You want to fight as soon as possible if you're Fnatic and just close out this game. Go to game 3 on a big high.
Aggressive knows that the only place he can farm safely is the enemy jungle right now, and that's all he can do. So he's sitting back while the rest of his team is trying to defend high ground at the siege. And we talked about it. You have Dragonlance on a Terrorblade. With Metamorphosis up and your Conjure Images, you can siege away at the Tier 3 tower with limited issues for Fnatic in mid 1.
They'll keep sending those illusions, and at some point LGD are just going to have to commit to a fight, or they're going to be mega creeps here.
They have the acid spray. It's tough to fight into that with maybe still with the chemical rage. That Downey needs to be careful if it goes down here pretty soon. They're going to use the reflection and just push him back. And again, more images being made. The Tier 3 tower is about to fall. Ravage comes through.
Oh, he caught Java too!
Just barely. And now he's going to get Static Storm on top of that. He'll fall instantly. Doesn't have buyback as well. Another Ravage. And he gets it out of 3 this time. Maybe he's being focused out. The FKB props coming through. And he will fall. Just for 106 and aggressive about to go down. GG! Fnatic will take game 2.
Doom just couldn't ever find a good target. Again, he uses Doom on a high who's already used both Ravages. The previous fight was on Terrorblade, who'd already used Thunder. I mean, Fnatic's teamfight execution, they never gave LGD a single opening to get off their initiation. Beastmaster tries to blink Raw, gets caught in a Ravage. Doom tries to get off the Doom on Tide. Ravage has already been used. It was just, again and again, Fnatic the ones 2 steps ahead of LGD, and they're forcing a game 3.
And it just shows how solid Ohio's play is on that Tidehunter. You give him a role that he can